Now it's time for some weather with Rob Sharpe. Rob, good morning to you. So can you give us an overview of the flood situation in Victoria, New South Wales and Tasmania as well?
Well, the worst of it is in northern parts of Victoria, that is for sure. You can see it around Shepparton, the town swamped by water there, and it's going to remain that way for some time to come. The major warnings are still in red across the north of the state, all the way out to Horsham. Major flooding there from today. But you can see around Rochester, we've seen that flood. That's now peaking around Echuca today. But the flood around Shepparton is also on its way toward Echuca as well. And that all flows into the Murray and flows downstream towards Swan Hill and Mildura. So we're going to be watching this flood take place for weeks to come across the north of Victoria. Meanwhile, in New South Wales, it's also a slow-moving flood event over the inland regions. Hay could see a major flood. The major flooding in Forbes is easing. Same story in Warren as it's both heading downstream. Wee Waa has seen it back off to moderate flooding there, and major flooding is still a concern up around Burke on the Darling River, and that also flows downstream, eventually making its way all the way to South Australia. So we're going to be watching floods take place for a very long time over these inland regions. Whilst in Tasmania, the worst of the flooding is over. The Meander River saw a record flood in some portions of the river. There's still officially a major flood warning there. However, major flooding is no longer occurring in the river. We're just waiting for the Bureau to update that warning back to moderate with the other river there, the Macquarie River. So those two were the hardest hit with the flooding over the weekend. But looking at the forecast today, there's a chance of a shower or even a thunderstorm in Brisbane. A shower or two or maybe three for Sydney siders. For the southeast, it's generally dry with shower or two clearing from Hobart and Perth, and stormy weather building in the centre again.
OK, so how much rain is on the way, Rob, and how do you think it'll impact the flooding?
Well, initially, I'm confident that we'll have significant rain for New South Wales and Queensland over the coming days. You can see this low slowly edging east with rain and storm activity, targeting those two states with a little bit for Victoria as well. But my greatest concern is what happens after that. Some models, not all, some have a low developing and moving over Victoria on the weekend and into the start of next week. If that happened, that would be very bad news. But at this stage, there's still a decent chance it will not take place in that region. So here's what I'm more confident of. The next 4 days rainfall from Tuesday to Friday in the lime green, 25 to 50. But as you can see, some teal shaded areas above 50 millimetres, which is going to lead to more flooding and exacerbate what's already happening in New South Wales. But looking further ahead at that 8-day forecast, 50 to 100 across a huge area from central Queensland to northern Victoria, and even a chance for northern parts of Tasmania as well, Pete.
All right, Rob, appreciate that. Thank you.